And at natural history museums, we really do only three things. We do basic scientific research, we guard and use the nation's science collections, and we inspire and educate our public who knows they learn best when they're having social fun time with their families. We have more than 7 million visitors each year at the National Museum of Natural History, which is an amazing number. It's the most visited museum in the world. And 84% of our visitors come from out of town, which means they're unique visitors, which means every year we get a different 84% of 7 million, which means in a decade we might see as many as 60 million people in that one building on the National Mall. That makes us the premier science education space in the world. And it means that something like 20% of the American population will walk into that building every decade. So it's a phenomenal asset for communicating about the natural world. We also have more than 90% of the Smithsonian's collections, with 127 million objects, specimens, and artifacts. And this is where we keep the objects that we treasure about the world and study those objects. We have 11,000 scientists who visit us each year to study those objects here in our facility in Suitland, Maryland. We are the home to the iconic Hope Diamond, and we are the real Jurassic Park. With more than 200 scientists, we have the largest museum science staff in the world, and these are scientists who have three primary areas of expertise: the study of Earth and similar planets, the study of the diversity of life on Earth, and the study of human diversity and cultural change. They publish more than 600 scientific books and papers every year, often describing new species and making discoveries about plants, animals, and organisms around the world. Also embedded in the Natural History Museum, we have scientists from the U.S. Department of Agriculture, from the U.S. Geological Survey, from the Department of Defense, and from NOAA's National Marine Fisheries Service. They're there because our collections allow them to do the work they need to do. Things like preventing our troops from getting malaria, things like preventing invasive pests from crossing our borders, and understanding the vulnerabilities of our fisheries stocks. Today we had a number of scientists here. I'll just mention one of them. Dr. Tim McCoy is the chair of our Mineral Science Department, studies meteorites. And if you ask him why he studies meteorites, he'll say, well, I want to understand the formation of the solar system, which seems a little bit ethereal to a lot of us. It's a very important topic, but you have to think back in February, just a year ago, in Russia, when the Chelyabinsk meteorite exploded over Russia, there is a meteorite the size of a bus traveling at 5 miles a second that, depending on how it came in, could cause tremendous amount of damage. We know that a 6-mile diameter asteroid is probably what caused the extinction of dinosaurs and most life on Earth 66 million years ago. So these things are real, and they're in our time frame, and we need to understand them, and that happens at a place where we have the world's collections of meteorites. You saw the work of Dr. Chris Helgen, who is a mammologist who, at a very young age, has discovered dozens of new species of previously undescribed mammals by looking at collections and visiting natural habitats around the world. These experts represent a dedicated staff, but they're also the inspiration for what we present to the public as our various exhibits. And this last year, we partnered with the National Human Genome Research Institute at the National Institutes of Health to put together an exhibit called Genome: Unlocking Life's Code. This is in celebration of the 60th anniversary of Watson and Crick's discovery of the double helix structure of DNA, and the 10th anniversary of the discovery of the decoding of the human genome. And this is one of these very rapidly evolving fields in science and medicine where we're all really interested in what's going to happen, and a really good place to get started learning about it is to come down and see the exhibit on the Mall. In December, we opened a 10,000 square foot exhibit called Curious, and this is a place where we've turned the museum inside out and made our collections, our scientists, and our scientific equipment available to primarily teenagers, because we know that people will study things if they're very interested in them, and we find that museums are a great way to catalyze people's curiosity. We will be opening in a few years a complete renovation of the nation's fossil halls, which originally opened in 1911 as the Hall of Extinct Monsters. And in the last century, we've learned so much about the history of the Earth and the story of dinosaurs that we are going to be renovating that entire space. And later this spring, we'll be bringing to Washington, D.C. a complete real Tyrannosaurus Rex in partnership with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and the Museum of the Rockies. It will be the first real Tyrannosaurus Rex in the nation's T-Rex in Washington, D.C. And we will use that to launch our renovation of the major dinosaur halls, which will open in 2019. So as you can see, the Natural History Museum is a curiously successful blend of three very different things: very serious science, our treasured objects, and a deeply engaged public that is learning while it's having fun. Thank you very much.